Talk Radio 702. Jenny Crwys-Williams, the Friday Mix.
So now that we are no longer playing A Fool's Guide to Soul, and I know that you loved it, thanks very much indeed. And don't forget, you can get the playlist on www.musicguru.co.za. And now we move back to the Friday Mix on a Thursday, and we're doing it with a trip to the theatre and Fat Pig, and that is the name. It's a star-studded local production of the award-winning Broadway show Fat Pig, and it opens in Sandton on the 10th of April, which is literally just around the corner. And in the studio with me, two people taking part: Leanne Summers, producer and actress, and Colin Moss, actor.
Hello.
And you were yelping about
the fact that it's just around the corner.
Well, it is. And I mean, also, I apparently this is your first stage show, Colin, in a really long time.
Well, in a long time, yes.
I've got no, not your first. I mean, yes. I know that.
In a very long time. You're absolutely right. It's been about.
We did do it in September, so.
Well, yes, we did a run of this in Cape Town, a very successful run of it in Cape Town. It went down very well. But before Fat Pig, the last play I did was with Peter Turin. It was My Zinc Bed. I think that was about 5 or 6 years ago. And then before that, college. I don't do a lot of theatre, I have to be honest.
No, why don't you do?
Because I have a bond.
Okay, well, that resolves just about everything. So, Leanne, you are the producer as well as taking part, as well as acting in it. What is Fat Pig all about? Help us out.
Fat Pig is, as you were saying, it's a show that it comes from New York, and it's an American show, and it's about a guy played by this guy Colin Moss. I don't know if you've heard of him. This guy, and he plays Tom, who falls in love with a rather portly, rather very over.
Plus size.
My character would call her a fat sow, but
your character does call her a fat sow.
It's true. But he falls in love with this overweight girl, and it's how his friends and his ex-girlfriend
and colleagues,
it's how they tear into her and rip her apart,
and him for his choices. You know, it's really it's a play about societal pressures and what we're expected to do and who we're expected to see and date. And it asks the question, you know, if you meet someone that's your soulmate, that you're completely in love with, will you be able to deal with it? Will you be able to deal with the pressure that society is going to put on you?
It's hard, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah.
In fact, Clayton Boyd, who plays Tom's colleague Carter, he has a line in the show, and I think it sums up what the show's all about. And the line is, "Very rare is the dude that stands up for the stuff that he believes in," and it's really true.
It's kind of Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. And so you see, between them both, they licked the platter clean. But
look at Jenny, huh? Hey, look at Jenny, the erudite one over here with spouting poetry. I
mean, it's a nursery rhyme, but I mean, you know, it's just that the absolute opposites.
Exactly. But you know, that said, this play certainly doesn't do it in a preachy way. I think what has made this play so successful all around the world is the fact that it's hysterically funny. It's really like Roland in the Owl stuff, but it's the kind of comedy that hits you in the gut and is going to sit with you for weeks after, and you know, 3 weeks down the line you'll still be thinking about the message behind the comedy, and that's what makes it such powerful theatre. It's wonderful to take
also,
part in.
I mean, it's written like a sitcom, so it's not just for people that like theatre. You know, it's not a Chekhov or a Grotowski. It's something that anybody that can actually come and enjoy and watch and just have a really good laugh.
Yeah.
And walk away going, wow, maybe I should look at myself.
Yes.
You know,
because after all, this is the playwright is the guy who wrote, you know, he wrote Nurse Betty, for instance.
Okay.
You know, so he knows how to write comedy. I mean, he's written, you know, more serious stuff, The Shape of Things, and then of course his plays. A lot of his plays are very serious, but he really knows how to write comedy. But his comedy is always bittersweet.
You were saying before we came on air that what makes this different is that this is not a 10-year-old play. It's a very contemporary play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always find, you know, it's a part of living in South Africa and being a performer in South Africa, that very often the only material that we get to work with is material that's, like you say, from a decade ago. And it's incredible. It's such an amazing privilege as a performer to be doing something that's so current and so contemporary. In fact, I think they were about to start another run on Broadway. I think it's on hiatus.
Their funding in New York got pulled.
But I'm sure it's going to happen very soon. I'm sure they'll find new funding. So, it's like literally they're going into another run as we speak. So it's incredible to be doing a play here that could be running in Broadway within a few weeks. It's an amazing privilege.
Well, listen, I think it sounds great, and of course the Old Mutual Theatre on the Square, they don't shy away from anything practically.
Daphne's quite brave.
Well, Daphne is brave, and I think that you need that. You've got to have the support of somebody who's prepared to go out on a limb and have an empty house.
Yeah, absolutely. And no.
Touch wood.
No empty houses.
Well, I always remember with Hazel Feltman saying to her, I think when the three tenors were out here, break a leg, and she did. So I'm not going to say. She had to be carried up and down. So I won't say it to you, but I mean metaphorically speaking.
Thank you.
I'm wishing it to you.
I must say, for me, it's been so nice to work with Daphne. Obviously, we have done the show before, but she's just such a fabulous woman to work with, and
she's passionate about it. She's passionate about the craft and about theatre, and she really gets behind projects that
and
are
just
in
the amount of help. Producing and acting at the same time is tough. It's a tightrope, and she's got in there, and she's really helped us with everything. So it's been fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hire the Theatre on the Square once a year, and she's been absolutely fantastic. But this year we're doing something else, somewhere else. But coming up in a moment, we're going to ask Colin and Leanne about their favourite smartphone app, their favourite Twitterer right now, because I was tweeting throughout the show with the Music Guru, and particularly that argument between Bongani Bingwa and the Music Guru, and I think that's loads and loads of fun. So let's get inside their heads in just a moment, and I'll give you all of the details for Fat Pig a little bit later on. 3:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines. Tara Meany.
Thanks, Jenny. Good afternoon. The ANC Youth League will now only meet on Monday to discuss how to handle Julius Malema's latest suspension. Malema was suspended with immediate effect following his reference to President Jacob Zuma as a dictator. 2 acting magistrates will face charges of armed robbery, possessing a hijacked vehicle and possessing an unlicensed firearm when they appear in the Krugersdorp court next week. The 2 were arrested yesterday. They allegedly robbed a second-hand scrap dealer while posing as police officers. And Zimbabwe's indigenization minister says the government now owns 51% of mining firms that have not yet complied with the country's indigenization laws. Economists say this is the latest blow to confidence in the mining sector, already affected by the controversial policy. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 4 o'clock or as it happens.
EWM Traffic.
All right, let's see whether Secho Modisani is available. If not, we can go to traffic elsewhere. Hi there, Secho. All right, Secho Modisani watching the buses go past, but let's see if our Eyewitness Traffic Desk can bring us up to speed.
Hi, Jenny. Yes, in the Joburg CBD at the moment, there are heavy delays on the M1 North due to truck losses low just before the Crown interchange. There are delays of up to 45 minutes in the area. In Randburg, a stationary truck blocking the left-hand lane on the N1 North at the Malibongwe exit. If you are heading to Limpopo this afternoon, there are delays of up to 30 minutes on the N1 North just after the Montana area. Lights are out in 4 ways at William Nicol and Broadacres, also Cedar and Cedar West, as well as Cedar and Uranium, so there are some delays in the 4 ways area. Jadine Tager, EWN Traffic.
Jadine, thanks very much indeed for that. Coming up next, Ray White. Well, or is it Ray White?
You're listening to Jenny Crwys-Williams on Talk Radio 702.
702.
Your number 1 news and talk station on 92.7 and 106 FM. Call Jenny now on 011 883 0702.
Well, when I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, as one does occasionally, who do I hear but Ray White? So what are you doing here, Ray? Standing in for someone?
Standing in for David O'Sullivan on 4 to 6, you see. It's my regular slot, 4 to 6.
So now you've had a little lie-in.
It was lovely. It was the couch this morning. It was so nice. It really was, you know.
What are you featuring today?
Jenny, SANRAL officials, they want the same powers as traffic officers as well. You'll be pulled over by a SANRAL official, and they'll be asking you certain questions. So we'll be finding out what those questions are. And why are the traffic police not doing this? That's their job. I thought SANRAL made roads.
I don't think this will stand up in court at all.
We'll be getting to the bottom of that one as well. Also, Shrien Devani, prosecution and defence, both saying that he's mentally not well. So they're both in agreement. So that's quite something. We were all very vicious with them saying, oh, here we go again. It's another Shabir Sheikh story, that kind of thing. But this time round, it looks like there's agreement there. Kyalami, do you ever go out and Kyalami on a Sunday, nice drive, or you go for a walk or whatever? Well, they want to build a big dual freeway through Kyalami. So folks not happy about that one. And then, of course, the two magistrates being arrested. Two magistrates being arrested for armed robbery. Have you ever?
Oh, I was going to say two magistrates in the same car at night or something.
No, for armed robbery. I mean, it's bizarre. So Mandy Wiener's got more on that story. And it's not an April Fool's joke. It's just what's happened.
Talk Radio 702. Jenny Crwys-Williams. The Friday Mix.
Ray White coming up in about 40 minutes' time, or ever so slightly less, standing in for David O'Sullivan over the Easter weekend. Well, let's go back now. We've got Leanne Summers, producer and actress of Fat Pig, and I'll give you all of the details of that. It's at the Old Mutual Theatre on the Square, but I'll give you the details later. And Colin Moss also starring in Fat Pig. So, Colin, I'm told that you actually are a little techie hidden in there. Are you?
I am a complete tech geek.
Are you?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I'm a complete geek.
So what brought that about? Are you just fascinated by it?
I think so. You know that I've always been fascinated about gadgets, but also science and physics and cutting edge technology, futurology, all of that stuff. I'm just constantly fascinated about it.
Don't you wish you'd done a little bit more at school?
I really do.
Yes.
Yeah. I often wish that I'd really applied myself more and become a quantum physicist or something. Someone that actually makes a difference to the human race,
yes,
rather than some actor boy, comic guy.
So if
awesome.
I asked you to explain Schrodinger's cat, could you?
I think so. Yeah.
Briefly?
Briefly, it's that on a quantum level, you don't understand. Well, we don't know the particular state of subatomic particles, for instance, electron spins. And if you put a cat into a box and you attached a poison device to, say, a rhodium atom or rhodium element, and it was breaking down on a subatomic level, then you couldn't say if the cat was alive or dead, because you don't know if the atom has degraded atomically or not. So yeah, it's kind of like, is that close?
No, it's very, very close. And then, of course, it's Schrodinger's kittens, but we can't do that anymore. So, I mean, his credentials are absolutely fantastic. We'll have him back to talk about science. So what then, with all of that anticipation, is your favourite smartphone app?
Oh, I couldn't choose one.
Oh, no.
No, the producer said choose one, and I absolutely could not.
I did not say choose one.
You did.
I said you had to choose at least one.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a few. I like all of the apps that allow us to use the networks for free, because I think that our cell phone service providers steal enough from us. So I like things like WhatsApp. I love WhatsApp. I love Viber. I love Heytel. Heytel is a brilliant one.
What is that?
Heytel is like WhatsApp, but it's a voice message. So if you're driving, it's much easier to use. If you're going to be home in 5 minutes, you just press a little button, and it kind of turns your phone into a two-way radio. So you go, hey, I'll be back in 5 minutes, and then it goes via the internet to another person who has the same app on their phone. It's brilliant.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got WhatsApp. It doesn't always work.
No, it does. You have to be somewhere where the 3G is good.
But Heytel, I think that's fantastic.
Heytel is great.
And Where's My Water?
Where's My Water is the most addictive game since Birds.
Angry Birds.
Since Angry Birds. No, it really is. Trust me. It's the crocodile, and you've got to get the water to him so he can have a shower. It's incredibly addictive. I spend every waking hour playing Where's My Water.
Is it local, or is it have I got to go via Iceland to get it?
Or are you asking, is it free? Because
Yes.
I hear you only play the free games. No, it's not free. You have to pay $1, and you need to have an American account.
Yeah, that's the
It's really not that hard.
No,
it only takes minor fraud.
Yes. Okay, now we can do that in South Africa so easily. But now, Leanne, you are into Angry Birds. And I mean, they've just introduced a new Angry Birds.
Yes, Angry Birds Space. I'm still on seasons. I'm trying to finish seasons 2012. I'm a little bit behind the boys, but I'm addicted. I need Angry Birds rehab. It's actually
she's actually pathetic.
Terrible.
She's pathetic. In the middle of rehearsals, we'll catch her playing Angry Birds. It's a problem.
Yes. Well, look, I understand that it's addicted because
she's even bought the Eagle. You've bought the Eagle, haven't you?
I've bought the Eagle. Sometimes there is a level that you can't get past.
I'm sorry. How can you buy the Eagle? It's
69 cents, Colin.
I know,
Don't be cheap.
But it's just admitting that you can't do it without resorting to a cheat.
Yeah, but you can go. What? You've never had a hack for a computer game before?
Oh
yes. So Leanne, your favourite Twitterer? Is there such a thing, I wonder?
My favourite twit. I don't know what you'd call them. My favourite Twitterer at the moment is it's actually a website called Text from Last Night.
Okay.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So they at TFLN, and basically what this is it's everybody sort of in America, the UK. I think it's all over the world now.
It is all over the world now. Yeah.
You can send in, like, if Colin gets drunk and sends me a text.
Could happen.
It could happen. Sends me a text. I can actually upload it onto this website. So there was one on earlier that I thought was really funny that went sort of, I'm drinking vodka straight out of a beer bottle to avoid being judged. It's not my best idea, and it's not my worst.
All right, so briefly, Colin, let's go back to you, because I could go on with this for ages and ages, but I know that I can't.
Yes.
Who's your favourite Twitterer right now?
I have a few. I love Sick Jokes. Sick Jokes is brilliant. I don't know who it is, but he constantly writes jokes, has at least 2 or 3 a day. They're always original, and they're incredibly funny. He's really good. And then the geek in me likes a New Scientist.
Lovely.
New Scientist, because that's what I love about Twitter. It can entertain you and give you a laugh, or it can link to interesting stuff. And on smartphones these days, you just press the link and then suddenly you're reading an article about cutting edge stuff, and I love that. So New Scientist really gets me in touch with all sorts of the latest in quantum, and the latest in neuroscience, and the latest in all the geek stuff.
Okay, and there's something called Men's Humour as well.
Men's Humour, Men's Humour is great as well. Also funny. Really funny.
All right, so we're going to put the rest of these two sickos' loves. We'll put them up onto our page. So we've got their favourite blogs, their favourite TV shows, and it'll send you on a little journey, all of your own. So both of you, thank you so much. Fat Pig, when does it premiere?
We open on Tuesday, the 10th of April, and we're running until the 5th of May. And Old Mutual Theatre on the Square. You can get tickets at strictlytickets.com.
And it's starring Chanel Diago, myself, Leanne Summers, and Clayton Boyd.
So why don't you guys book your tickets? And Fat Pig, it premieres Santon's Old Mutual Theatre on the Square. Really easy. Nelson Mandela Square, 10th of April to the 5th of May. Bookings, you can call the theatre 011-883-8606 or at www.strictlytickets.com. So do it before it fills up and you can't get in at all.
And can we just say one thank you, I promised I would, to our sponsors, First Impressions, who provided us with all of our furniture for the show. Big thank you.
Which arrived today.
Arrived
so
today,
beautiful.
and we're finally working on it, and it makes such a huge difference. So thank you guys. Big up to you guys.